Welcome to HFTG Radio, coming to you live from an undisclosed location deep within the heart of the beautiful and scenic San Angeles. I'm going to be here all night with you lovebirds, so go ahead and sit back and relax, because the next show's host, well, his middle name is Trouble. Let's go ahead and see if it starts with a capital T. Well now, she seemed to cause enough trouble for the both of us. Isn't that sweet of her? I'm not one for trouble, but don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. If you are, I'll keep you safe right here on HFTG Radio. But see, I'm one of those people, when I'm looking for love, or just a good time, I go by the old saying, crazy in the head, crazy in bed. If that's the case, let's hope she's a nightmare for somebody. Just hope it's not me.
In the day
Well, that one seemed to have a split personality. Reminds me of an ex of mine. Maybe I should give her a call. Keep me company on these nights where I'm talking to you all. Don't worry, we'll get to that host that's coming up soon. One thing I remember, though, about my ex, she was always ready to go.
Yeah, let's go. Just take me now. She said, I wanna feel no pain. Just pin me down. She said, I wanna misbehave. She looks me dead in the eyes. She's staring straight through my soul. She wants something new. She's sick of everything old. She said, stay for a minute, play with my limits, drink till we're sinning, baby, I'm ready. She said, stay for a minute, play with my limits, drink till we're sinning, baby, I'm ready to go. Shake that ass like you want it, girl. Down low, front it, girl. I just wanna smack it all around like I own it, girl. Say, shake that ass like you want it, girl. Down low, front it, girl. I just wanna smack it all around like I own it, girl. Just kiss me now. She said, I wanna feel something. Just break me down. She said, I don't wanna play games. She said she's finally alive when she starts losing control. I said I know what to do. Just let our bodies go. She said stay for a minute, play with my limits, drink till we're sinning, baby, I'm ready. She said stay for a minute, play with my limits, drink till we're sinning, baby, I'm ready to go. Say shake that ass like you want it, girl. Down low, front it, girl. I just wanna smack it all around like I own it, girl. Say shake that ass like you want it, girl. Down low, front it, girl. I just wanna smack it all around like I own it, girl. For a minute, play with my limits, drink till we're sinning, baby, I'm ready. She said stay for a minute, play with my limits, drink till we're sinning, baby, I'm ready to go.
Well, lovebirds, looks like my time is almost up here at HFTG Radio. I can see some commotion in the studio across the hall. The next host seems to be getting ready. He has a particular glow about him. I hope you enjoyed your time here. I know I have. And if I can give you one itty-bitty piece of advice to live by, it's never be afraid to be yourself. Because who else would you be? It's the most powerful thing you could ever do. Until next time.
Hold up machine when I do it. I'll be catching fire, gasoline when I do it. Just 'cause you're packing, whoop, down south. That don't mean I'm never gonna take it lying down, baby. You're the man, but I got the power. You make rain, but I'll make it shower. You should know I'm the one who's in control. I'll let you come take the wheel long as you don't forget.
Who got the power? Hold up!
My turn. I make this look easy. Tick boom like gasoline. If they call me Lamborghini, 'cause I know just what I'm worth. It's a 0 to 100, but my body make him stutter. Stop my engine, push the button, 'cause I'm gonna be coming first. Yeah, I'm a machine when I do it. I'll be catching fire, gasoline when I do it. Just 'cause you're packing, whoop, down south. That don't mean I'm never gonna take it lying down, baby. You're the man, but I got the power. You make rain, but I make it shower. You should know I'm the one who's in control. I'll let you come take the wheel long as you don't forget.
Who got the power? Who got the power?
Check it. When them boys talk loose and tell you power's for a king, you just play it cool and tell them power's not a thing. You look them in the eye and say, I know I'm not a guy, but see there's power in my losses and there's power in my wins. Independent woman looking shower in your bins. They call me cocoa butter Mike, you can't be powder in my skin. And you don't need to spend another hour in the gym. You know I'm blinded by his grace, but when you found me I was dim. We'll be counting down the years, yeah I'm about this. All them dirty secrets that we share, I'll clear the browsers. We the type to build on our careers and share the houses. You can be a woman and a boss and wear the trousers at the same time. That I ain't never letting go. But as long as I'm alive, then I'll be sponsoring your pride. You know there's power in the couple, let me compliment your vibe, girl.
I still don't know who that is. I would really, really like to know when Matt hired someone else. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the first episode of Dropping You a Love Line. I'm sure I will come up with something else to call it. I have no idea. That's just kind of a name I'm working with right now. So it's nice to see you all. I'm super quiet, alright? Is that better? I'm turning up the volume, calm down. Turn up for what? Yes. As I always say, it's a 100% professional stream. No problems ever happen whatsoever on this stream. It's getting there. No, I'm still quiet. How about now?
3%. Alright. I have it as high as it will go.
But thank you, Ishtar. You're extremely helpful. Whatever I did to turn down the music, do the reverse. Better? Good. Alright. Can you all hear me now? Yes? Good. I hope so. It's not an Antoine stream without some fuck-ups. Thank you. I don't know if I want to be known for that, but sure. Alright. So, this is going to be kind of a different stream. I'm going to hopefully have some interaction from you all, but I also have some questions already given to me by you all, you lovely people, in the chat, in my Discord. So I will be talking about them. But what I'm planning on doing with this stream is quite simple. There is a ton of bad advice out there. A ton of it. And it's usually given by people who call themselves gurus. I do not profess to be a guru. I have just lived quite a... well, I wouldn't even say extravagant. I would say I have lived a very eventful life. So I have met hundreds of people, I have been in many relationships, and I know you humans tend to behave a certain way. So I want you all to do whatever you can to help spread this around, because I want to give good advice. I want to give the advice that I would actually like to have had while I was going on through life. So that's I mean, you could go from the red pill to extreme feminism, and all of them give horrible advice. You see it every day on Twitter, you see it every day on YouTube, you see it on what, Instagram, Facebook, you see it everywhere. It's even in television and movies. It's bad, and it makes things like the gender war, a quote-unquote gender war, a bad thing. And what brought it about? There is technically no gender war. There's no anything that needs to have war added to it. So that's kind of what the idea of this is. It's going to be a shorter stream. I'm going to talk to that DJ about maybe cutting down his time. Like, the music videos are nice. The music was very nice and entertaining, but it's... he seems... I don't know. What do you think of the DJ? Should I talk to Matt about firing him? But hopefully, and yes, word of mouth is the best way to advertise, and hopefully this spreads, people see that I'm live, and whatever, and join us. I want to talk to everyone. Maybe later on, a couple more episodes in, I'll take actual callers or something like that. You know, have it be fun. But I want you all to know that I'm going to give the best advice I possibly can. And if you have any questions that you would like to ask and you're in my Discord, tag me. Or you can tag me in the live chat and I will see it and I will answer you. But let's go ahead and get to the first question, shall we? So this was asked of me in my Discord. Yes, I know Colin streams can be difficult, but I am pretty good at making sure the people who do call in don't shit up the place. So the first question I was asked is, how do you spot red flags that warn you that you shouldn't get in or stay in a relationship with someone? And that's actually a decent question. Now, first we have to establish what a red flag is. So most people think a red flag is, oh, this is a deal breaker. First signs of a red flag means the relationship is horrible, it's over, should never finish, whatever it is. That's not necessarily true. Red flags are just something to get your attention that maybe you should pay attention to it. Now the question was, how do you spot a red flag? That is actually difficult, especially if you're new to the relationship. Everyone has heard about the honeymoon period. And there is a honeymoon lovey-dovey period in a relationship where it doesn't matter what the woman does or the man does, you're going to be enamored with them. It's after that period that you need to start paying attention to what they do. So here's a good example. Ladies, you're dating someone and he has a propensity of cutting you off every single time you talk. He doesn't want to actually hear what you have to say. So this is far more past the honeymoon period where you're enamored with him and everything he does is dreamy and fun. You start having a conversation with him and he continues to just ignore you. Well, that's a red flag. It means it could mean going forward that he really doesn't care about your opinion or what you have to think or what you have to say. So with that, you need to understand that that could possibly be a bad thing in the future. Talk to him. It's exactly what you need to do. Sit him down. Say, listen, I feel like you are not paying attention to what I'm saying. If then he continues to do the same thing, it means that red flag isn't going away. So that would be a sign to end the relationship. Yes, Ishtar, when someone shows you who they are, pay attention. That's actually a really good way of finding a red flag. So you can give the same example for a woman. You're dating a woman, and let's say she has a very close or very flirty male friend, and you find out that that male friend and her used to be in a relationship, and now that relationship was sexual. You're uncomfortable with it. You tell her that you're uncomfortable with it. Now she's probably going to fight you right away. He's just a friend. It doesn't matter. That's just who he is. That is a red flag. She is dismissing what you have to say, your concerns. That's how you spot a red flag. If it's a concern of yours and they just dismiss it outright. Now, how do you deal with the red flag is the actual important part of this question. Now, if it's something like I just said, the woman is continually flirting with this man, her former friend, and you have issues with it, and she is not paying attention to your issues. Well, very simply, Do not give an ultimatum. It's not going to work. But very simply, talk to them. Tell them your concerns. Again, if they ignore it for a second time, well, then you definitely need to start looking for someone else. Red flags are everywhere. And I do want to state again, a red flag is not a deal breaker. Alright? Red flags are just that. Something to pay attention to. Now, one of the more popular things to do on TikTok right now is, what are your green flags? Green flags can be just as bad as red flags, because it does dictate how the relationship is going to go. Like, if you see a red flag and you talk about it and they fix it, that's great. But a green flag, well, that can be bad as well. Now, I know you're asking, how can a green flag be bad? It's green. Green is good. Good can become bad. Here's a simple example. You're in a relationship with someone and they're very caring. They're very loving. They're very emotionally in control of themselves. But you are starting to notice that that caring is starting to become more controlling type of caring. They want to know what you're doing. They want to know how you're going to do it. They want to know where you are at every moment of every day. That was a green flag at the beginning. But now later on in the relationship, it seems like they're keeping tabs on you. So that green flag has now turned bright red, because that green flag was them showing you that yes, they are observant, they do care about you, but now they want to control your actions. And there are, I don't know, relationships that work like that, codependent relationships. They're not good. You need to find people who you can mesh with. And yes, Banshee, narcissistic people will use your green flags against you, like love bombing. Love bombing is a perfect example of a green flag. They make you feel good, they make you feel loved, they make you feel wonderful. Everything is about you. And then, because you are so enamored, so connected to them, it turns into something that they can use against you. If you loved me, you would do this. If you loved me, you would do that. If you loved me, you would let me do this. It's never a good thing when they start doing that. So, again, how to spot red flags is really just paying attention, being understanding of what you are as a person, being in control of what you are and what you want in a relationship, and knowing that you have boundaries. Boundaries are very important. If you don't set boundaries, your partner, your significant other, your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever you want to call them, will cross those boundaries. And if they don't know you have that boundary, well, there's going to be a problem. You can't get mad at them if they didn't know your boundary and you crossed it. So, I hope that answered the question. Like, this is a new format for me, so it's going to take some time to get used to, going to take some time to get in the swing of actually giving advice. I'm not used to giving advice, and there's a reason why. Is there a story that's the impetus for this conversation? No. Just questions asked in the Discord. Gnostic, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. This, I don't know if you've been watching the videos that I've randomly been putting out, but as of late, following people on Twitter, things like that, I've been dealing with a lot of red pill, extremist relationship bullshit. And there's a lot of this actually came about because I was going to do a Valentine's Day video, because there is a ton of these alpha male advice Twitter accounts, and they all follow each other, and they all give the same stupid advice. And it got to a point where I was actually blocked by one. And with the way that the algorithm works on Twitter is if you retweet one of these idiots, they show up in your feed constantly. So I kept seeing this one account, and I would say one tweet out of 30 would be actual good advice. Something that you could actually follow. The other 29 Twitter posts would be things like, get yourself a virgin, or, don't be afraid to go overseas, or your woman should know that she should only speak when spoken to. Men should lead. And you'd go into these you would go and you'd click on it, and you'd see in the replies that there were a bunch of these other accounts. And it's just repeating the same thing. And then you have podcasts like Pearly Things and The Rational Male and Fresh and Fit, who all give these stupid, quote-unquote, alpha male, you have to be a certain person type advice for relationships. And it's all bad. It's not good advice. So it got to a point where I just kind of was done with it. I was going to do this Valentine's Day video about it. And, well, life gets in the way, and I kept putting it off, and then I changed my ideas, and, well, I haven't actually put out a video in a very long time, and I'm sorry for that, but I will be putting out another one. I promise. Yes, Circle Jerk Echo Chambers. Oh no, Banshee, we don't need red pill videos for next week. Oh, you're going to ruin your For You feed on TikTok. Just saying. So, going back to the question, I hope I helped answer how to spot red flags. The second question I was asked, and this is from a young man who just recently turned 18. No, I'm sorry, turned 19. My bad. I've known him for a while. He's a very nice man. And he asks, how do you balance being a full-time student while also looking for a job and trying to maintain some sort of social life? This is a hard one. Now, the reason why I say this is a hard one is because going to school is important. Especially if you're going to school for what you want to do. But you have to live. It can't all be school. So you have to go to work. And you want to be able to spend the money that you make at work. So you need a social life. They all kind of compound on each other. And this is going to be kind of a cop-out answer for this, and I apologize. But the best way to actually balance this is just do it. Now, that sounds vague, right? What I mean by just balancing is you, as who you are, has to find what's most important to you. So if your education is most important to you, then you need to focus on that. If work becomes most important to you because you get an apartment, or you start having to pay rent, or you have a car that you need to pay for, or whatever your bills are, well, there's a wonderful thing that can happen in school where you can limit the amount of classes you take. And then to deal with the social life. Well, social life, people think, well, if you're not at work or you're not at school, you need to be doing something all the time. That's not true. Your social life is what you make it. So if you like bowling, I use this example a lot, but if you like bowling, your social life could be joining a bowling league. Once a week, you set time aside, you go bowl, you meet people who have the same interests as you meet people who have the same hobbies as you, and you have a good time. You don't have to be socializing or have a social life every single day. How's it going, Tom? Tom says, needs more Dr. Drew, Ricky Ratchman, and Adam Carolla, but this will do. Listen, Adam Carolla, well, his people said they would call my people, and unfortunately, we didn't get in contact, and he couldn't make it tonight. Dr. Drew's very, very busy, so he's doing his own podcast. Now, going back to the question, it's important to have a social life. It's important to have friends. And that social life is going to get you the skills you need to talk to people, including women, or if you're a woman, including men. And unfortunately, you do have to do it. Do not make social media your social life. If you make social media your social life is going to be awful. Because social media is the bane of the internet. There are times where I honestly believe that the internet at large would be better without things like Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, all of the things. It's not good. The saying on Twitter is touch grass. Right? Everybody hears that. Touch grass. You need to touch grass. You need to go outside. You need to do this. You need to do that. There's a reason why. And unfortunately, Twitter is an app on a phone, so you can take it wherever you want to go. Take some time. Do what you like. You all know I like playing Magic the Gathering. So, say that's your hobby. Go find a place that hosts tournaments. Go meet people who have like interests of yours. You don't have to have your social life be every day. Other things are important. Also, including in balancing that, sleep. Nothing will kill momentum, nothing will kill your libido, nothing will kill your social skills more than being sleep deprived. Just ask Ishtar. Ishtar gets very grumpy and very anti-people if she doesn't get enough sleep. But to be fair, Ishtar also needs about 12 hours of sleep during a 24-hour period in order to not be grumpy. So how do you balance all of these things? It's very simple. You need to determine which of the two most important things out of the three are what you want to focus on. If it's school, then that should take up the majority of the pie chart. If it's work, same thing. If social life is that important to you, I have some bad news. Social life is important, but it is not actually as important as a lot of people put out there. So, if school is important, I'm going to go back to this. I know I'm kind of rambling. I'm trying not to. If work is important, ask for more hours. Try and get that full-time job. If school is important, take a full schedule of classes. The rest of your time, you then need to dictate what you want to do. So, like I said at the beginning of this, it depends on you and what you find important and how you think that balance needs to happen. Now, what's the chat saying? Sleep's a crutch. It's an important crutch. It's the crutch that you actually need because one of your legs refuses to work. Humans can only go so long without sleep before their brain literally shuts them down. Now, to be fair, you'll die of dehydration before you'll die of sleep deprivation, but it can happen. And then, let's see, what else? If you're going to go clubbing until 2 a.m. in LA, you're going to have to sleep till noon. Them's the rules, trust me. You don't have to pull an all-nighter. So, I mean, weigh your time. I have a friend of mine who... is my same age. Ray, you know exactly what age I'm talking about. He actually has a birthday coming up in 7 days. Recently, he has understood that social life is not as important as his work life. So, he decided to go, I wouldn't say go to the extreme, but he decided his social life needed to change because all he was doing was working. When I say all he was doing was working, I mean he was working 3 jobs. He decided a couple of things. One, at 42 years old, he decided he was going to learn to play the piano. And believe it or not, he's actually getting quite good. 2, he decided to join a gym. 3, he decided to take a foreign language class. And 4, and this is the most important one, is he decided he was going to go to a rave. No, I'm not joking. At the age of 42 years old, my friend went to his very first rave with the express purpose of doing MDMA, listening to loud music, and dancing with girls. I don't... That's a bit extreme. Right? That's a bit far. Tom, hold on. I don't think you need to go to that extreme. But the reason he did this is because he wanted to make himself more interesting to people. He didn't want his conversations with people to be, well, I work. Now, I want you all to know he had fun, but he doesn't go often. He's only been to 2. Alright? He's only been to 2 for the experience. Tom, you said number 5. Now he's quote-unquote the most interesting man in the universe. This friend of mine I used to play wingman for. And that was one of the lines that I would use for him. Now, my friend has had many experiences. He's had more than I have. He has run from the police, from a street race. He has hid from the police. He's been to a street race. I've never been to a street race. He has travelled across states on a whim. He has flown across the country to meet women. He has done all manner of things. So, when we would talk to women, I would build him up. I'm a wingman. That's what I'm supposed to do. So I would exaggerate a little bit. Instead of watching the street race, he was participating. Instead of hiding in a bush from the cops until they went away, he actively ran and hid his car in a garage. You exaggerate. You get their attention. And once they would say that, and I would come up with... I came up with the line, do you understand? You've seen those beer commercials that have to do with the most interesting man in the world. Well, that man is based on my friend. I would go into a couple of exaggerations of what he's done and say, here he is. Have you met him? And I would leave it at that. And then my friend, being the honest person he is, would just go, yeah, none of that's true. And it's like, what are you doing? You had their attention, and now it's gone. But he did all this. He decided to learn to play the piano. He decided to learn a new language, go back to school for a few things. Decided to do all this in order to make his life more interesting. Which at 40 plus years old, it's a bit late for a midlife crisis, but it's around the right time. So, it's... Banshee, if you met him, you would understand he is one of the nicest people I've ever met. He's very dedicated to his work, which is why he ended up having 3 jobs. I think he went about it the wrong way, like doing the rave. I think he's a little old for a rave. The rave time passed us by when, we'd left the 20s. But it's an experience he had that he can tell someone about, which is exactly what you need to do. Now, I have another question that's a good one, and unfortunately he left. Ray said he has to go, so I hope he finishes watching this later. Have a good night, Ray. But this question does come from Ray, and it's actually a very good question. And it has to deal with already being in a relationship. Not just being in a relationship, but living with that person. And it's, how do you balance household chores? This is actually really important. When people think of relationships, they don't think of that person that does the dishes, right? They don't think of the person who takes out the trash. They just think of, oh, that's someone's job. They don't think about vacuuming. They don't think about picking up. They don't think about doing the laundry. They don't think about cleaning out the garage. They don't think about mowing the lawn. These are all things that kind of get passed by. How's it going, Shrapnel? You'd be surprised about people going to raves. They still happen. A lot. Too old for raves, but young enough to run for president. True. So, how do you divide household chores? Now, you could go the simple route and you talk about the man chores and the woman chores. Sure, that works. But what if you happen to have someone who refuses to do the dishes? They would rather scrub toilets than do the dishes. Well, that's a chore you have to take on yourself, or else really simply just get paper plates, and you get dishes that can be thrown away if you really, really, really don't want to do the dishes. And that, of course, is not viable, right? It's expensive, it's pointless. So you kind of get into this relationship where you're dividing up chores. Now, if, again, dividing up the man's chores, maybe you don't like mowing the lawn, but they do. Let them mow the lawn. It's Banshee. You're gonna hear. You're gonna know because we've said this before. Communication. You have to talk to your partner, and you both need to discuss what's going to happen. If you just assume, well, that's bad, because the other person may assume you're going to do those chores. Shrapnel says, I've been with the same woman for 26 years. She works, I'm disabled, therefore I take care most of the housework. That, I don't know what your disability is, but a stay-at-home, I don't know if you're male or female, so forgive me if I get this wrong, but a stay-at-home husband, that's fine too. You two have an agreement. She does the work, you do the chores. That's kind of how it should be if one person works and the other person stays home. If both people work, you're going to have to both do the chores. So finding a balance between them, it's really simple. You can do a couple things. One, just talk, figure out who wants to do what, and kind of make it even. Or, if you're someone who needs visual representation, make a chore chart. It does work. I know it sounds stupid. It really does. I know it does. But it does work. Write down the chores that need to be done weekly and dole them out to each other. Who wants to do what? And it's that simple. Alright, dude. Okay, so thank you, Shrapnel. So you're a stay-at-home husband or stay-at-home boyfriend, whatever. You said partner, not wife. So that's fine. I don't like to assume things. But the work chart, the chore chart, as childish as it sounds, it works. And it keeps things going. It keeps things moving smoothly. If you have pets, someone has to clean up after the pet, right? Someone has to feed the pet. Someone has to groom the pet, depending on what the pet is. Someone has to clean the pet cages, or take out the litter box, or, if they happen to have hairballs or whatever, it needs to be done. So you dictate to each other what one person wants and what one person doesn't want. And if one person really, really, really doesn't want to do something, and you don't want to do it either, but if they compromise, well, there it is. So, those 3 questions are the ones that I got in the Discord. So, if there's a few of you here, and this is not going to be a long stream, but there's a few of you here. If you have any questions, by all means, ask away. I will do my best to give some advice, depending on what it is. But I think most of the people in the chat are in relationships that are long-lasting, which means that I have a better success rate of giving advice than any of the other gurus out there, because you're all successful. I do find so some of the advice that's given is absolutely horrible. But there are times that the broken clock is right twice a day. And there have been times that people like Fresh and Fit have been right about things. I hate saying it, and actually it hurts me to say that, but there is times where they are right about certain people. Ishtar asks, how do you handle a mother-in-law who's too involved? How involved is too involved? So there's a couple levels there. If the mother-in-law is like involved in every decision that needs to be made. Your husband has to call his mother every single time. It's going to be a really simple answer for this. Talk to your husband. You have to let him know that this bothers you. You have to. You have to attempt communication before anything else. Before anything else can move forward. Like, she can't let her son grow up. That, okay. So, helicopter parent kind of mother-in-law. That's, unfortunately, that is bad. That's very bad. That you need. There are a couple ways to go about it. The simplest way, of course, like I said, is talk to someone. The extreme of that, which I don't suggest, is give him more responsibility than he can handle. Kind of like throw him in feet first. He wants to be, men like that usually have an attitude about them, how they're they can't do no wrong. So you throw them in feet first with some responsibilities. Let him lead. Now, I don't mean just let go of the reins and let the horse run free, because you have to help yourself. But if she can't let him grow up, there's a couple things that need to happen. First, you need to separate them. Cut the umbilical cord. What I mean by that, and it's kind of a manipulation tactic, but in this situation there is a chance that the mother-in-law is being manipulative. So you kind of have to fight fire with fire. But you kind of have to cajole him. You kind of have to cut him off. Right? Promise him things that only you can give him. And this, I mean, you would think that this is all common sense. But use your feminine wiles. This is your husband. I'm sure you know more about what he wants than his mother does. So you have to use that. You have to kind of cut communication. Instead of having him call her for everything, you have him call you. I've never dealt. I will say that's one thing I've never dealt with. But like, they're adults, and thinking that they should be treated like adults and respect them like adults, I want to say is something that should happen, but I know it doesn't. Shrapnel says the problem is these days there are a lot of weak men and crazy women, and I blame the communists. Yeah. I can't blame the communists. What I can blame is social media. I do agree there are a lot of weak men out there, and there are a lot of crazy women. But you have to look at it from the generality of the perspective, which is there are a lot of weak women out there and a lot of crazy men too. I'm one of those people that is very much in the middle. I look at people and know for a fact that a lot of those weak men, they're not good. The weak men would... We talk about toxic masculinity. And that toxic masculinity, people think of machismo, being overly alpha, being super aggressive, being, the Andrew Tates of the world. Yes, that is toxic masculinity. But at the same time, those weak men that you're talking about, that's also toxic masculinity. They're still masculine, but they're exuding other traits. So they're exuding manipulation traits. They're exuding secretive traits. They're exuding traits that they would more or less go behind the back of the person instead of doing it up front. Whereas the toxic masculine, quote unquote, alpha bro will do it in front of you. The weaker men will go behind the backs and do it that way. So both of them are toxic. Both of them are bad. And both of them are extremes. The vast majority of men are just normal. And it's those normal people that you have to base your view on. Now, are you going to meet these people? Sure. Are you going to interact with them? Of course you are. Are you on social media? You're interacting with them. The problem comes when you are actually... It's why touch grass is very important. Now, I know it's being used as a pejorative, right? Go touch grass. You're inside way too much. Go touch grass. You need to do it. The reason why is very simple. When you go out and you meet these people, they don't act the way that they do online. If you meet me, like you're hearing my voice, you're hearing how I talk, you're hearing the jokes, you're hearing the sarcasm, you're hearing the inflection, you're hearing everything that you as a person can tell how I am saying something. Online, it's different. It's the same way as you hearing me as you dealing with a person in person. So you have to go out and talk to these people. You can't just... I don't want to keep touching on Fresh and Fit, but this is a perfect example of it. Fresh and Fit talk about advice towards women in the aspect of club culture, dealing with the women of the women of Miami. They don't deal with the women of Miami. They deal with the club-going women and the OnlyFans women of Miami. So if you inundate yourself with that type of woman, you're going to continue to believe that all women are this way. And it's not true. In the slightest, you are absorbing what you see around you as the norm, because that's what you see. Addicts do this. Alcoholics do this. They are so ingrained in their alcoholism. They hang out with other drunks. They hang out in bars. They think this is normal because they surround themselves with it. If you surround yourself with the extremes, you're going to believe that those are normal. So when you go outside and you experience life for what it is, a collection of different people, different personalities, and different senses of self, you will then actually be able to understand that those extremes are just that, because there is only the extreme person that you can meet on Twitter who will be like that in real life. And yes, I will admit most of them are in college. But college is where you're supposed to make these mistakes. You're supposed to be this extreme. You're supposed to try different ideas and different ideals and different types of ways of thought. Sharon says, to be fair, I know that's not your actual accent because I've been watching you for years. True. And for those of you who don't know, none of you in the chat don't know this, but if anybody's watching the vlog, this is a character. I'm playing a character. I've been playing him for years. That's why his voice is very, 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 very easy. So, but Shrapnel, having been watching me for years, you know I have principles. And talking to you, whether in character or out of character, I'd still talk to you this way. Now, there's a difference, of course, because I'm trying to be entertaining, I'm trying to make you laugh, or trying to prove a point. I will use certain extreme examples, or I will use extreme humor. Everybody does, it's fine. If we were to meet face to face, it would be toned down, because there would be respect. And what you're supposed to... Everybody's like, you have to earn respect. Yes, you do. But here's the thing. It's a lot easier to go up to someone and just give respect. I'm not talking respect them, as in, like, be in awe of them. I'm talking about give respect as a general person. Don't insult them unless they insult you. Don't treat them like shit unless they've done something to deserve it. I'm talking about simple actualities of respect, which is very easy to do and very easy to take away. So all of this stuff is very, very important in dealing with any type of advice, right? Going back to Fresh and Fit and addicts. Here's another example. Everybody talks about being porn-brained on the internet. I've called people porn-brained because they are. They especially red pill people. They're porn-brained beyond what I think they could be. But when you immerse yourself in that, you start to see that and nothing but, right? You start to see just what that is because that's all you know. So if you immerse yourself in a culture like club culture or hookup culture, or hookup culture covers dating apps and everything like that. If you immerse yourself in hookup culture, you're not going to see that girl who may not be as wonderful in your eyes because she doesn't have enough bodies underneath her, or she has too many, or whatever it is. I had someone speak... I don't want to get off on too much of a tangent because I've done this already. But, yes, Ishtar, if you're looking for something like racism or sexism, that's all you're going to see. If you're looking for it, you're going to find it. Just stop looking for it. It's that simple. And I wish more people would see that. I wish more people would practice that. But unfortunately, we have a generation of young people who are growing up on the internet now. And Shrapnel, as you said, we have weak men and crazy women. The crazy women thing is nothing new, right? We've had crazy women for decades, for centuries. We've also had weak men for centuries. The normal people are out there. They are. You just have to go out and find them. So, like, going back to the first question, being getting your balance between work life, school life, and social life. You need to find what suits you. So just because everyone is going out, quote unquote, everyone is going out to clubs and bars and is on Tinder and Grindr and whatever other Plenty of Fish. Is Plenty of Fish even a thing anymore? I don't know. But all of the dating apps, they're not. When you hear people on Twitter saying, all women have OnlyFans, they don't. Alright? There are only 2 million OnlyFans accounts. That's a lot. I'm not saying that's a small number. That's a lot. But that's not every woman. That's not even a high percentage of the country. This country. Let alone a minuscule percentage of the world. So when you find people And this is going to be the last thing I'm going to say. Like I said, this isn't going to be a 2-hour stream. This is a short, episodic 1 hour, maybe a little bit longer than 1 hour show. When someone tells you that everything is a certain way, everybody does pot, everybody drinks, everybody has an OnlyFans, everyone's fucking, everyone's doing this, everyone's doing... They're not. And what you need to do is look at that person and kind of laugh. Because it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And they need to be shown that they're ridiculous. It's why conspiracy theories are funny. Because they're stupid. So, if you only take one bit of advice from this entire stream, which I have rambled and I hope I've answered the questions well enough for you all, is the extremes are not extreme. No, that doesn't make sense. The extremes are not the norm. And they never will be. If it is reported in the news, if it is something that is gaining traction on social media, if it is something that everyone is bringing up, it is because it is outside of the norm. Which is why that's all you see. Look for the generality. Because the generality is the majority. And that's how you can judge people. That's how you can fix relationships. That's how you can judge character. And that's pretty much how you succeed in a relationship. The people in this chat are perfect examples of that. You have talked through your red flags. You have communicated with your partner about chores that you're going to do. You have made sure that they understand your wants and needs. And you're going to continue to succeed because you have common sense. So, I think I'm going to end it there with much praise to you in the chat, because I think you all are wonderful. So, thank you for joining me on this. I'm going to come up with a better name than giving you a love line. Whatever I called it. What did I call this? Dropping a love line or whatever. But thank you for joining me on my first episode. I'm going to try and do this maybe once every 2 weeks. If you want to ask me questions, you can join my Discord with the link down below. You can email the questions with the link with the email down below, or you can follow me on Twitter, where I unabashedly call out red pill idiots regularly, to the point where Ishtar even doesn't understand how I gain entertainment from it. So, thank you again. Banshee said, when I say I love chat, you get mad, but you can give them love. Yes, I can give my chat love. I don't like the chat on our show, because they, it's a bit. I'm allowed to not like them. Humans are weird. So, I don't know, that's a bullshit answer for you. Thank you for joining me. You all have been wonderful. Please follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, links, all of that wonderful things. Send questions, and I will try and do this regularly. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, and it's difficult because, well, laziness is fun. But until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And remember, it really isn't that bad out there. Touch grass.